Yo, 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 and welcome to our discussion of logistics, which will conclude our discussion of the place component of the marketing mix. This logistics is a topic that um, it's allegedly my area of expertise. I always say allegedly. And my challenge in this discussion is to condense a course that I have taught for over 30 years into a 20-minute lecture, understanding that the point is that, how does logistics, fit into marketing? And so I'm going to start with a definition of logistics. But before I start with the definition of logistics, Um, shameless plug. You can see that this thing is called contemporary logistics, and if you look hard enough, you can see that down over. Let's see if I hold this like this and go like over here. You can see Paul R. Murphy Jr. That would be me, and then if we go over here, you see A. Michael Kniemeyer, and you say, wow, what a picture of ports and cranes and containers and stuff like that. And this is a textbook that I have co-authored. And, Mike is actually a former student. He's a Bowler School alum from 1991. So he's got his 25th reunion coming up next year. He's currently on the faculty, the supply chain management faculty at The Ohio State University down in Columbus. And the book is used all over the world. We use it at John Carroll. They use it at Ohio State, or The Ohio State, and a number of other universities throughout the world. In this book is a definition of logistics that was promulgated by an organization called the Council of Supply Chain Management Professionals. The membership of CSCMP is predominantly from the United States, but it has members from countries throughout the world. And CSCMP defines logistics as that part of supply chain management that plans, implements, and controls the efficient, effective forward and reverse flow and storage of goods, services, and related information between the point of origin and the point of consumption in order to meet customers' requirements. So again, there's a lot going on in that definition. I'm going to read it again. Logistics is that part of supply chain management that plans, implements, and controls the efficient, effective forward and reverse flow and storage of goods, services, and related information between the point of origin and the point of consumption in order to meet customers' requirements. So again, there's a lot that's going on in that definition. And again, this is not about this is not a logistics course. It is a principles of marketing course. But the really key thing to focus in on, and that definition is much different than when I took my first logistics course. In fact, when I took my first logistics course, the discipline was hardly ever called logistics. It was called physical distribution management. But a real key aspect of that definition is the last few words where it says in order to meet customers' requirements. And that's important from a couple of perspectives. First is, and it goes beyond marketing, it goes beyond logistics. If you're a business and you don't have customers, nothing else really matters. So you might be an accountancy major, wonderful. You might be a finance major, great. You might be a human resource management major, wonderful. You could be a marketing major, wonderful. You might be a non-business major, that's wonderful as well. But if you're a business, you don't have customers, accountancy doesn't matter, finance doesn't matter, economics doesn't matter, human resource management doesn't matter, marketing doesn't matter, logistics doesn't matter, any other business discipline we can think of doesn't matter if you don't have customers. So it's all about, meeting customer requirements, and in fact, not only meeting, but it hopefully exceeding customers' requirements. And that's important as well, because one of the things that continues to go on with customer requirements, or meeting or exceeding customer requirements, is that customer requirements or customer expectations continue to evolve, and they continue to be more demanding uh, as we progress through time. And so let me give you an example. So when I was your age, oh God, when you were our age, yeah, I know, there's a lot of things that didn't exist when I was your age that exist today. But if you wanted to place an order when I was your age, and this is like, mid 70s, early to mid 70s, 1970s, not 1870s, thank you very much. Um, Oftentimes you place the order by mail, postal mail. You say, what about telephone? Well, some places wouldn't allow you to order by telephone. And if you think about placing an order by mail, you had to fill out an order form, and then you had to put it in an envelope, and maybe the envelope had an address to where it was going, and maybe it didn't, so you had to write the address on. You put a stamp and you mail it, and it takes what, a day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days for the order to get there, right? And then the place gets the order, and how long does it take to fill the order? If you would get an order, if you placed an order and you got that order within a week to 10 days, you were happy as a clam, right? It's like, whoa, I got the order. It only took 10 days for me to get the order. Think about it now. You place an order now, oftentimes you're placing an order via electronically, right? So there's no 5, 6, 7 days it takes for the order to get there. And oftentimes when you place an order electronically, you're expecting that order to be filled in a certain amount of time. And importantly, sometimes you can speed up, right? Sometimes when you place an order, they'll say, well, here's, this is, standard transportation, but if you want it a little faster, you can pay a little more and it'll get to you faster. And if you want it even faster than that, you'll pay even more and you'll get it even faster. And so what's going on with the expectations is that customer expectations continue to increase, right? They tend to become increasingly more demanding. And if you think of from an electronic perspective, I mean, one of the things that you might have heard of is that Jeff Bezos, who's the guy that founded Amazon, he and his organization are looking into the use of drones, unmanned airplanes, right? They're looking into use of drones to deliver customer orders. And you say, well, why would they do that? Well, because when people place orders electronically now, their expectations, sometimes they want that order, they don't want to wait 2 days, they don't want to wait one day. If they place it at 10 o'clock this morning, they want it by 4 o'clock this afternoon. And the question is, how the hell are you going to get them an order that they placed at 10 o'clock in the morning? How are you going to get them that order by 4 o'clock in the afternoon? And one of the ways potentially is through unmanned aircraft such as drones. So I mean, if you were to tell me 40 years ago that people would be filling orders using drones, unmanned aircraft, I told you you'd be nuts. But that's the kind of stuff that's going on. And so you can see that has that whole thing of customer requirements changing through time not only has implications for marketing, but potentially has implication for logistics as well. And you say, okay, I think I think I understand that. And you say, well, what else do I need to know about logistics that you're going to tell me in less than a 20-minute video? Well, what I'm going to tell you in less than a 20-minute video is one of the things to understand about logistics is there are different activities that are associated with logistics. So there's transportation, and there's warehousing, and there's inventory management, and there's packaging, and there's materials handling, and there could be others depending on the organization that you belong to. Now, the key thing is that rather than focusing on each one of those activities individually, what we try to do in logistics is we try to take a systems approach and understand that if we tweak one of those activities, if we, for example, decide to change transportation, right, that is going to have an impact, obviously, on transportation costs, but it could also impact inventory cost and warehousing costs. So, for example, if you decide to go from a faster form of transportation to a slower form of transportation, that's likely going to result in your transportation costs decreasing, but what it's likely going to lead to is you're probably going to need more inventory in your system because products aren't going to be delivered as fast. So you're going to need more inventory to kind of have until you get the order in. If you have more inventory, you're going to need more warehousing space for it. So, you don't just focus on one, and you cannot simultaneously, and this is a really key thing, you cannot simultaneously minimize transportation costs and warehousing costs. They work in opposite directions. So having an understanding of that is important, and understanding that anything that has cost has an impact on prices, right, is important as well. And so what we try to do from a logistics perspective and how this would tie in with marketing is what we're trying to do is we're trying to minimize our logistics cost, recognizing that there are better ways of doing things and not so wonderful ways of doing things. And if we do a poor job with logistics from a cost perspective, that's going to end up being reflected in the price of the product. So I have an example to share with you. It's a long ago example, but it's a really interesting example, and it involves a former student of mine when I was a PhD student. And he was taking a logistics course. Actually, it was a physical distribution course. I can still remember that the title was BMGT, because at that time at the University of Maryland, it was the College of Business and Management, so all the courses were BMGT. It was BMGT 372, Physical Distribution and Traffic Management. That was the title of the course. And this guy took the course, and he didn't do well in it. He got a D in the class, but he got a raise. He got a $5,000 raise from his employer. And he got a $5,000 raise from his employer. This is a true story. I can't make this stuff up, because the company was headquartered in Northern Virginia, and what they used to do is they used to ship stuff from Northern Virginia to Baltimore, Maryland. And what they used to do prior to this student throwing his 2 cents worth in is they used to, I got a prop here. Woo! Here comes, this is my little FedEx squeezy toy. They used to fly. Woo! Here comes, woo! Plane safely landed. They used to fly their shipments from Washington Dulles Airport, which is in Northern Virginia, over to Baltimore Washington International Airport, which is now Thurgood Marshall Baltimore Washington International Airport in outside of Baltimore. They used to fly their shipments. Now, that's a grand total. You can Google this if you're curious. It's about 50 miles. You shouldn't fly shipments 50 miles. Now, why were his bosses using air transportation? Because they knew one thing: air is fast, right? But what comes with that as well is air is high cost. And if you think about it, right, to send the shipment by air, what they had to do is they had to load it on a truck, take it out to Washington Dulles Airport, unload it from the truck, put it on the airplane, fly the airplane from Washington Dulles Airport to Baltimore Washington International Airport, unload it from the plane, put it on a truck, deliver to final destination. So there's a lot of handling of the product that's going on there. And from a practical perspective, anytime you handle product, your handling costs are going to go up, right? There's labor that you need to handle the product. Plus, anytime you handle the product, it increases the opportunities for loss and damage. So this student who got a bad grade, a D in my logistics class, he said to his boss, "Why don't you put it on a truck? Send it from Northern Virginia to Baltimore by truck." You're going to reduce the amount of time that the product's handled. The product's going to get there just as fast, if not faster, and truck transportation is much less expensive than putting it on an airplane. And his bosses were like, wow, we never, I mean, literally, he saved his company a ton of money. Didn't get a good grade in my class, but he did get a $5,000 raise. And so again, what was happening is those costs that this company was doing, I mean, they were factoring the transportation cost of the product into the final price of the product. So logistics and understanding logistics can be important from a marketing perspective, because there's a lot of ways that we can improve logistical efficiency, i.e. reduce the cost, without negatively impacting, and in some cases positively impacting, customer satisfaction. That's important because, and this is another way that marketing and logistics interact, is because from a marketing perspective, satisfaction is simply the actual performance meets or exceeds the expected performance. Satisfaction is important because customer satisfaction is a prerequisite for customer loyalty. And customer loyalty is important because studies have shown that customers that are loyal, A, tend to buy more over time, and B, they not only buy more over time, but they tend to be more profitable over time. So the fact that logistics has both a cost and a customer satisfaction component can be important from a marketing perspective, because of the fact that customer satisfaction is a prerequisite for customer loyalty. And why logistics is so important with that is that logistics sometimes can represent, you think about, customers can see, right, when a package is delivered, if that package is all beat up, right, it's been mishandled somehow, right, there's visibility. The transportation component sometimes allows literal visibility from the customer, and the customer can decide very quickly whether she or he is satisfied by just A, perhaps looking at the package, B, sitting there saying, I expected this thing to show up on Friday, it showed up on Saturday, I'm not happy, right? C, you ordered a I don't know, what the hell did you order? You ordered a blue shirt. It showed up on time. You got a shirt delivered when you wanted the shirt delivered, and it was in good shape, except it was a red shirt. You got something different than what you ordered. So if you start, and again, this is, people are going to go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And the way that yeah, oh my God, a lot. And one of the things, and one of the phrases that I like to use to illustrate the importance of logistics and the interrelationship between logistics and marketing is, I have a phrase that I've used for years. And in fact, earlier this year, I was interviewed by somebody for Crain's Cleveland Business, and I used this particular phrase, and a couple of my former students saw it and emailed me and said, God, you're still using that same phrase. It's timeless. And it's timeless in the sense that the phrase is very simply, bad logistics can screw up good marketing. You say, how? Well, what does that mean? Well, you can have a really good product, right? And you can have a really good price for that product, and you can have wonderful communication or promotion for that product. In fact, you can have really good channels, and you can have really good relationships with the various intermediaries in the channels. But if there's bad logistics, right, the product's late, the product's damaged, the product's incorrect, you didn't get what you ordered, it doesn't make any difference. I mean, you can really like the product. You say, I really like, certain, let's say a polo shirt. Just use it as an example. You really like a polo shirt, right? And you look and you say, wow, the price is great, right? And you say, and I like the fact that they're going to donate, $2 from this shirt to some charitable cause. And you say, I've dealt with, RalphLauren.com or Polo.com before. It's a wonderful website, yada, yada, yada. But if at the end of the day, when the thing shows up, you get 3 shirts and you ordered one, or you ordered the blue shirt and it's a red shirt, you've messed up all the other good stuff that you did. And so, an understanding of that and how important it is, has real implications for marketing. So believe it or not, I'm almost at 20 minutes. I could go on and on and on and on, but that would do nothing. So we'll stop there, and we'll see you down the road. Bye for now.